Let's welcome in former Acting Assistant Secretary for the Department of Energy, Tala Goodarzi, along with former Press Secretary for the Secretary of Defense and retired U.S. Navy Captain Morgan Murphy. So, Tala, I'll start with you. The president's criticism comes as both Chevron and Exxon report massive second quarter earnings. He noted he's still in favor of free enterprise, but this is a gray area here.
Sure. Well, thanks so much for having me. These oil companies, remember, the price at the pump, there's a couple of others involved here. The price of which the oil companies buy it then goes to the refiners here in the United States. The refiners take a margin based on that. Then it goes to, in the case of California, based on poor policy standards, their clean energy rules. And then it goes to the retail gasoline owners. And so there's a couple of others involved here when it comes to price at the pump, and that's what we see when we go to fill up our cars every day.
Yeah, Morgan, one could also argue that this is simply just the cost of fighting any war, but especially in the Middle East. Do you think there's any room for compromise here, especially between the president and big oil companies?
Well, I think one thing to keep in mind is the president's strategy here. So just in 2015, it was unusual for a president to be such a vocal proponent of America's oil industry. He said, drill, baby, drill. And thank goodness he did, because today, West Texas Intermediate, WTI, trades at $4 below Brent crude, which is what Europe really operates on. It comes out of the North Sea. So they're really more reliant on Middle East oil than we are. And the president's looking at that $4 spread there, saying, you know, that should be a little greater because we're the world's greatest and largest producer of crude, and it's processed and refined right here in the United States. And just the president mentioning Exxon and Chevron from the Oval Office yesterday, my bet is that's enough to bring prices down.
So, Tala, one action the president is expected to take, and this is really getting into the weeds here, is extending a waiver on the century-old Jones Act. Now, that requires cargo moving between U.S. ports to be carried on U.S.-built ships and owned by U.S. companies, crewed by American workers. Do you think that could actually help lower the cost of gas?
It could potentially, and I think we should also look at the price of crude today. I took a look. WTI and Brent are both down, and I think that is an indication that that the prices and the traders are now seeing the value of peace in the Middle East that the president has started, the value of the strait being opened, and so it's a timing thing here. In the short term, we're seeing prices, the margin kind of fluctuate, but not as drastically in the past. And once that strait becomes open, we'll see prices, as the president has indicated many times before, start to come down pretty rapidly.
All right. Tala, Morgan, great to see you both. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Great to be with you. Thanks for having me on.
Well, plenty more still to come right here.